welcome back. So it's one of every cyclist's favourite days, I think, new bike day. So time to do a bit of an unboxing, have a look at this bad boy. So it's a Cannondale Topstone 1. You can go and look at that on the internet and have a look. Went for a Cannondale Topstone 1 after looking at every bike under the sun. Did a lot of research, kind of worked out what I wanted in terms of spec and what it would do, and then price range and all that kind of stuff. And then obviously with the current situation, I had to factor in what's available. Fortunately, kind of what I landed on was available to some extent. I've got a Cannondale CAD 9 road bike, so I like Cannondales. I've got a CAD 3 frame, which I'm going to be painting up. So it kind of I was always kind of pushed towards Cannondale because I like the bikes, but I did give serious consideration to other bikes like Rondo Roots, Ribble, CGRs, all these kinds of different bikes. But I find that the spec of the Topstone 1 for the price, to me, was just a bit better. It was between this and the Topstone 2. Topstone 2 actually preferred the colour of it, but it's the spec of the Topstone 1 is a lot better. And I figured that the chances of me ever upgrading the group set and all that kind of stuff was very low, and it's quite difficult to get those components anyway. So I figured I'd go for the spec I wanted, and then in the future I can always spray the bike. Like, that's not a problem, spraying the bike. So I could basically get the best of both worlds: the Topstone 2 colour, or a better colour, and the Topstone 1 spec. So the Topstone 1 spec, the reason I went for it mainly is because it's got the right level of GRX group set, which is sort of mishmash of the 600 and 800. So that's gonna be great for me. It's a 2x, so it's got 2 chain rings at the front. I went for that rather than the sort of, a lot of people would go for a 1x in gravel biking, but I'm planning to do quite a lot of road riding and going off road, so I wanted the full range of gears for the road biking as well. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit of a background on why I went for it. So let's get the thing out the box and see what it looks like. Great fun. Right, here we go. So this is handy, a wheel. Hopefully it's 2 of those. Lovely. I have to say, it's very nicely packaged. I'm sure all bike shops, online places, do a good job of packing their bikes, obviously. Got this from Wheelbase. There was quite a few different options for getting it, but Wheelbase had it in stock and the price was good. It was actually £100 less than Cannondale's latest price. They'd put the prices up in January because obviously the demand's really high. So I got it for £1,800 instead of the £1,900 it was meant to be, or that was going up to. Also got 2 years interest-free credit. There was an option for 3 years interest-free credit, which is pretty incredible stuff. So, you know, basically this is costing £75 a month for me, which is really good for getting people into biking, because spending £2 grand of your cash on a bike up front is going to be difficult, or even £1 grand or whatever, for whatever the price is for a lot of people. But being able to spread it out over time is brilliant, and not having to pay interest. So that really allowed me to get the bike, because there was no way I was going to fork out 2,000. I would have basically had to save up for it over time, and then, you know, I ended up getting it maybe end of the year, but I wanted to get it as soon as I could, so that by the time summer comes I can go and do all these big epic gravel rides. That's the plan. So that's one wheel. The wheel came in. It basically comes fully assembled. Let's have a look. Apart from the front wheel, there'll be a little bit of setup to do with the handlebars and stuff, but all the gearing and everything should be set up. But if it's not, that's not the end of the world, because, you know, you really do need, if you're doing a lot of serious biking and you're going big distances, you really do need to learn how to deal with things, you know, re-indexing gears, changing out cables. That's That's pretty much, it's good to do that. It's good to know to be able to do that, and you can be a bit more self-sufficient. So, look at that, eh? I have to get all this stuff off so we can see what it really looks like. But again, look at the packaging, all completely covered in foam. I mean, there's not really any danger of that getting bashed in the box, but even the group set, the crank arms and everything. Brilliant. There's one other little box in here. Not sure what that is. I think that's probably the valve, tubeless valve kits and other things are in there, I think, because the bike comes, like most bikes, set up with inner tubes, but the rims are tubeless ready, the tyres are tubeless ready, but for whatever reason they don't set them up tubeless ready. So I've got the sealant and stuff, so the plan is to probably just use it as is for a little bit and then swap it over to tubeless ready. I've also bought some other things. The tyres that come with the bike aren't that wide and they didn't get great reviews, so I bought some wider tyres. I'll show you those in a separate video. And I bought new shoes, pedals, basically the full whack, because I've got everything set up on my road bike quite nicely. Road bike's got road bike shoes and road bike pedals. I went for mountain bike pedals on this, which meant new shoes, but I'm still running the same pair of shoes that I had like 10-12 years ago. They're still great condition, but I figured it was time to get a separate set, something that was a bit more suitable. The mountain bike shoes are just a bit easier to walk around in and stuff, and a lot of the places I'm planning on going, I'm probably going to end up having to get off the bike and do a bit of hiking. That's the plan anyway. So we'll get this thing out of its wrapper. Right, let's see what's in here. See if it's just the valve kits. I'm assuming there might be some, I don't know, instructions or whatever. Let's have a look. So we've got Shimano documentation, bicycle owner's manual from Cannondale. Looks like a free ass saver, like cheapo mudguard. Bell. That works. Reflectors. Reflector. No idea what that is. Valves for the tubeless setup, 2 off. Some more paper. And some tie wraps and a couple other little unknown things, which I'm sure will become clear once I go through the manual. Okay, so getting there. Just took all the wrapping off all the tubes and everything. Left a bit on just to protect things while I sorted the handlebars and the front wheel. So yeah, pretty much looks like that's all there is to do. Put the handlebars on, get the front wheel on, and then obviously once I get my pedals and things, they'll have to go on. Do a bit of a bike fit, check things out. Should be more or less good to go. Right, I'll stop this just now and then come back once I've got everything fitted up. There goes the postman, because he was delivering this. SJS Cycles, that'll be my pedals, I think. So I think I now have everything I need. Lovely. Getting there slowly, but doesn't matter how exciting stuff is, stomach always comes first. Time for a bit of a feed, get the rest of it done. Right, so pretty much set up. So I thought I'd give a quick looky at it before it gets all dirty tomorrow, or maybe the day after. Tomorrow's might be horrific weather, so don't really want my first ride to be in the pouring rain, but let's have a wee scan. So yeah, the tyres, they're WTV Riddlers. I couldn't remember what they were earlier on, but yeah, WTV Riddlers 37s. You can see the tyre clearance is, you know, it's heaps. Like I said, I've seen people on other videos with the 43s that I've bought and there's still plenty of tyre clearance. So it's kind of good to know, because it was actually quite difficult to find out from the Cannondale sites and the bike sellers exactly how big a tyre that this bike could take. So I kind of had to rake about to check that. But I think most gravel bikes take sort of 700C, 40, and some take a bit bigger. Some of the really proper, you know, go out into the wilderness for days on end bikes have bigger tyre clearances. So it turned out the little red thing that was in the spacer that was in the brakes, you just pulled out. There was no need to remove anything. The wheel just slotted in easy, quick do up with the Allen key, and that was the front wheel sorted. Stuck the handlebars on, kind of roughly in the right position. There's a wee guide thing here to get you centered. Loosely adjusted the seat to about roughly the right height, but I have to do a fit with with my shoes on. Fitted the pedals. You can see these, they're double-sided, so you can clip in either side. Seem to spin nicely, which was one of the comments a lot of the review sites had. Was it FSA chain set and FSA bottom bracket, GRX derailleurs, and yeah, so basically the GRX, you get GRX 400, 600 and 800, and the 400 is equivalent to Tiagra on a road bike, the 600 is 105, and the 800 is like a thing called Tegra. So this has got a mixture on it, which I'll actually have to remind myself exactly what's what. So if I look at the old Cannondale site here, what are we talking about? So front derailleur is 800, rear cogs are 105, they're basically interchangeable between GRX and 105. Rear derailleurs at 810 as well, so it's the best front and back derailleur. Shifters are 600. I guess you get 800 as well, but the 600 is a slight level up from the 400. Brake levers are the same thing. Brakes are 400, that tends to be the case. I think from what I've read or seen, the brake calipers are basically the same regardless. They just have one set of brake calipers. So got the ball cages fitted, everything seems, I've checked the gears, everything's running perfect, brakes feel great, yeah. And oh, the stats on the thing. So with the bike weighs without pedals, without the ball cages, so basically stock, it comes in at, what was it, 22.4 pounds and 10.16 kilos, depending on which units you work in. And with the pedals, they are quite heavy, those pedals, because they're cheaper ones. It takes up to 23.2 pounds and 10.5 kilos. So all in all, not too bad considering it's a, you know, designed for off-road. The frame, I believe, is about 1.6 kilos. and it is possible to take the weight of the bike down pretty radically, because the wheels are like 2.2 kilos or thereabouts just on their own, so you can drop a chunk off the wheels and change out a few other things, handlebars and that, and reduce the weight. And I've seen people with the same frame and a different setup, you know, sub 8 kilos, but the weight's not too important because it's going to be predominantly used for riding gravel, so a kilo here or there is not going to make a huge bit of difference. It'll just be good training for when I get back on the road bike. So, have a wee looky up the front here. You can see the flared handlebars, nicely wrapped. There's Willow. Hey Puss. What are you saying? Nice bike. So, yeah, I've had a quick sit in the seat on the saddle. Seems quite comfortable, but won't know until I've done a few miles. So yeah, it'll never ever look like this again. If you've got any questions, specific questions, or you want like a close-up video of anything on the bike, let me know, because I know it's, when you're looking for bikes, there's quite often things you're like, oh, I wish I knew or could see a picture of this or a picture of that part of the bike. There's not always a lot of information, and you kind of have to dig about. So yeah, anything you need to know about it, just fire away, and I'll be happy to help if I can. Right, saying goodbye. Say, take it easy.